All right. Happy Friday to all you devils out there. Well, we are going to focus primarily on the major cryptos here today. Of course, I've got Bitcoin right in front of us here. I am on the aggregator, the crypto, right? So I don't get a volume profile here, but I've got full history, and it's a reasonable place to go do your TA. If I'm going to trade it, I'll be over on Phemex. That's our sponsor. As you know, we're very happy with them. But just looking here for the TA. All right, we're kind of picking up where we left off last week. We're in a little bit of a little weakness here, a little consolidation. Looks like a good candidate for a 4 on this move that we're in now. Now, question, of course, will be: are we putting in the 3? Or are we putting in the one of the 3? All right, high class problems, if depending on what we see here. Either way, it implies the next leg up to maybe 130-ish. Again, I'm just kind of eyeballing here. Could that be the 3? Absolutely. But of course, then if you look at that and you just think, okay, traditional Elliott, if indeed, now let's come back here. If this is the 1, and assuming, right, we have this correctly identified, that's the 2. Oh, now granted, we're in log scale, right? So, but the fibs adjust to that. This is fib projections here relative to log scale. Could we go that high, right? That's going to be a big kick in the 5th to get up to the 145, 147 range. If we do that, 3, 4, right? Is it getting just too much bull porn? Not so sure that it isn't. Well, what do I mean to say here? I'm not so sure that this is unrealistic. I mean, given what we're seeing here. Now, of course, one of the inherent challenges in crypto is when we start to really roll, often very, very shallow 2s. It's just not 100%, right? Of course, this was... that was a more typical wave 2 and come back here. Very technical, prior resistance becomes a support, right? Now, there's a good 2, right? So there's a sense of conviction in, okay, I'm pretty sure I got the 2 here. But then I just go vertical. Not likely to be the 3, right? So just process of elimination. I suppose for an uber bear, you could consider this an A, B, C and do an expanded B, and you're expecting some massive sell-off. I think that's much less likely, right? Anything's possible. But it looks like we're just going to, carry on in this impulse, right? We've got higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, high. Well, I mean, there's no reason to think otherwise, right? It's based on... fundamentals as well as technicals. There's no reason to assume that some major turn is coming. Now, we are certainly in a melt-up in traditional assets, right? It's just... We'll take a look at the... I think I've got the NQ teed up, right? You just cannot be shorting right now. I don't know if any of you... Well, some of you may have lived through these kind of melt-ups and tried to trade through them. Others, this may be the first time you're seeing it, but the one thing I can tell you is shorting is a suicide mission until there's evidence, right, that we've got some weakness. Right now, it's just buy everything, right? Buy every dip. Of course, I'm speaking, broadly here, but this is not the environment to be looking to be a hero taking a short. My opinion, right? That's not financial advice. That's my opinion. Okay, so I'm looking at an 8-hour here on Bitcoin. Oh, let's dig in here a little bit here. Oh, let's go to a 2-hour here and see if we can make some sense of this. Okay, so if indeed we're going to have a shallow 2. Oh, I don't need those yet. If indeed it's a shallow 2, we're going to do it, probably a WXY, right? Essentially, it doesn't matter at this point, right? It's a 3, and now right, we get a 5, followed by a 3, followed by a 5. Now we get a little complexity here. Looks like we're doing a triangle, but it's still going to be an A, B, C, and then we're going to 5s and 3s, right? That's how the market moves. Not always, not 100% of the time. The vast majority of the time. I'll leave it at that. Okay, right. So as we sit here now, 1, 2, looks like I've got a completed impulse into that 3. I guess we can take that off for a second. Got a nice little channel running here. That's the 200. That's the God MA, right? Average of the EMA and the SMA, which I like. It'll sit right next to the Vegas wave. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Little poke below here. Let's dig in there a little bit. Looks like It's hard to argue with this as a completed impulse, right? As a good candidate for the third. Again, somewhat of a shallow 2. If I pull this right on here, somewhat shallow on the 2, but again, that's very common with cryptos ripping. That's a completed impulse. I don't think we have to debate that. Now, this certainly looks impulsive. It's just a straight shot down, right? So what would your thought be? A, B, oh, we don't get it. We don't get a traditional zigzag. So let's go to a 1. Then we start to just chop into this sideways. Oh, I got a lot of, let's get this off here for a second. All right, we start to chop here. Now, this is very, very consistent with what you would anticipate for a 4. We've just stopped progressing the trend. So we're stalling here. Now, here's a little poke lower. It's... Okay, all right, things we talk about every week. Oh, so that's more than it. All right, so we've got liquidity here. Now it's not fully swept. The indicator was doing this here, but I'll just, well, here, that's not what I want. Hang on a second. Oh, Christ, come here. I want a fair value gap there. Right, so we're coming into the imbalance here. We've tapped it, right? Not, some will tell you, 50% of it is fully mitigated. That's a toe in. Now, if we start to come out of here, if we get some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like something like that to come out of here, I think we're gonna look back here and say, okay, toe in, right? Got wet, and then if we pull out of here, but of course we could roll over again. This move down is just kind of a free fall. Do you have a 2? Again, where are you gonna find it? 1, 2. It's just really just not there. Could this be 1, 2 with a deep 2 down here to this little, the wick here that has not been run? Could we be doing that? Well, of course we could, but I certainly would be conscious of the resistance as we come back up this direction. Could we, hit some resistance up here? Well, the question is not if we're going to hit resistance. So Al will be sitting there. The question is, can we break it? So we have we don't have, Al's not working for us here from any of these prior pivots, certainly not from this pivot, right? So the next algo experience for Bitcoin is going to be up here at the 117, right? Can it get through it? And again, just because it's sitting there, of course, does not mean it can't get through it. It just means it's going to likely hit some resistance there. Then all the algo is going to do is just keep doing it. Pull this over here. It's just going to go to the next pivot, next pivot, next pivot. We're not in the clear until we get through this, which is about 120. Then we break all that algo resistance on the way up. So as we sit here looking at this, it's a reasonable candidate. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. It's not bad. For A, then I got an A, B, C, D, E, which gives me a B. Now down for the C. It's kind of a free fall, right? So it's hard to it's hard to label it, right? Where's your 2? Right? 3, 4, maybe. But the triangle looks solid, so I buy it now. If I were just jonesing to buy it here, I certainly would put a stop on it because you're close enough to the pivot here. So we can certainly see that they've swept some liquidity here, but we don't have dramatic displacement here. It looks like we got some. No, pardon me, we didn't, right? We've got that's too small, right? So there's really nothing here to lean on. 1, 2, you use a 3 there. I mean, you go down to a 15. Is that an ABC? That 1, 2. Okay, if you're leaning into the idea, I got a 1, 2. Well, shit, 3, 4. It's a bit of a I want it to be that, so I'm just gonna call it that. Well, if anything, right, that looks like a 3. It looks like an ABC. ABC. So now, as I'm quick to say, if you don't see something that looks just what you're looking for, like right in the pocket of your expectation, don't take the trade. You're doing it for all the wrong reasons. It has to be because you have conviction in it, not because I said anything, not because you read something on Twitter. It's got to be what do you see, right? You cannot trade off of other people's input, right? Even though you're watching me and many others here that are trying to teach, it's got to be that you see it and agree with it. Now, maybe we can draw your eye to something like, oh, shit, I didn't notice that. But when you take the trade, it's got to be because you believe in it, not because I suggested it or anyone else who's online trying to teach you how to trade. That's not the right reason to do it. It's got to be because you see it. For Elliott, I like to stay at 60 and above. Right? You're going to see it much better. But when you're digging at a count, right, often you've got to go down to those lower times to see if it's really there. Excuse me, sorry. Every time I do these videos on Friday, I've got the yard crew out and blowing. So my allergies trigger. I digress, though. I apologize. Okay, all right. So if indeed this is a triangle into the B, C, right? We have a contender for the low, but I wouldn't, again, put a stop on it. If you're going to do it, right? I mean, this is the kind of thing where you could actually go with a little leverage right here. If you're jonesing for a little something, but you can just see here, at least here, okay, I can see they wicked the liquidity here. They got this, then they got this, then they came back, couldn't get because their stops here, they couldn't get them. Right? The algos couldn't get them, right? Market's too strong here. Right? But I would be careful about that, right? If it's 1, 2, let it at least, okay, you're going to have an impulse here, right? It's not optional. It's got to happen. So I might let the 1 here pop a little bit, see, right? Something along those lines. 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe take the second 1, 2, trying to get into the third if this is going to run. Hard to make a call there, right? So you got to make. That's why you got to make your own judgment there. Okay, that's probably all we can do on Bitcoin, right? Until we get a little more clarity as to where this is going. Let's stay with the majors here. I'm going to go over to ETH, which looks similar in that we've got a clear impulse. This is a much better looking two, or as it would relate to traditional Elliott. It's right here. Okay, 38. Again, it's not like it doesn't happen. It's clearly a 3, and then I get a 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what am I doing now? Well, of course, we're coming back to challenge these. Oh, what am I on? 4. Let's go to an 8. We're coming back to challenge these highs. Okay, well, if we pop that, right, we talk about this every week. If we do that, that's a break of structure. What do we anticipate? Now, what do we know, right? We anticipate that at some point we're going to see a retrace, right? Because where's the liquidity? It's not up above. I say this every week. The liquidity's below, right? They're looking for your stops. So don't give it to them. Don't give them the opportunity to take your ETH. So I'd be careful with that. As we sit here, so certainly I would be hesitant to suggest anybody go in here with leverage because you don't want to get squeezed out because you can hold a position because of some whatever the drawdown. 1, 2. Well, if that's 1, 2, and we're making the shallow retrace here again, same thing. It takes seconds to do. So why would you not measure? Right? Where do they usually go? Well, if this is 1, 2, and we're going to get 3 here, again, I'm in log scale. 1, 2, am I going to get 3 here? Well, I'd expect that we at least get 100% here, so we're going to get that for the 3. That would be a pretty shallow 3 for the rip-roaring potential that's here. Well, of course, we can't eliminate the possibility that could be the 1 of the 3, and the 3 is going to be more traditional up here. Right? We could even go further than that. I mean, this is starting to look, again, that's kind of a high-class problem. Oh, my God, is that the 3 or the 1 of the 3? If we're going to really kick here, which, again, all of the background, the macro, the administration being very crypto-friendly, the regulations starting to come in, which is what the institutions have been waiting for. Right now we're getting that. We're getting ETH ETFs. We've got, it's just sure looks like the digital revolution is underway, right? So that's why my suggestion here, and I'm just going to riff off of this for a second, is to stay where the institution's going to buy. They're not going to buy on ship with less than $1 billion of liquidity a day. They're going to be here. So I think the easiest thing to do when on the anticipation that we're going to get some sort of a crypto bull here. Now, is it alt season or it remains to be seen. But if we're really going to kick here, I want to stay where volume's over $1 billion because I know that's where the institutions are going to go. Well, that's the only place they can go, really. Now, there can be whales that'll move meme coins and some of the shit that's down here. But the picks and shovels of the digital revolution, that's where you want to stay. Well, that's my suggestion. My opinion would be just that's where you stay. Right? You want to get, play with fart coin and pudgy penguins and the meme coins. I'm not saying don't. That's not what I'm saying. I don't, but if you want to, go for it. Okay, right. So just a suggestion, right? Kind of keep an eye on the $1 billion and above. I think you'll be well served there. Oh, where'd I go? Let's go back to ETH here. Okay, so right, if we just do that, my thought is going to be that's not 3, that's 1 of 3. It's just 2. Now maybe right with the break of structure here, you can see how that gets set up. Right, we get the break of structure. Oh shit! If we're going to the moon, retail buys it because that's what they do. Right, and then maybe a little bit something like this, right? Maybe we go deeper just because I mean, you can almost see the scenario here, right? So ETH is getting a lot of press, right? So there will be a lot of retail that would be interested in ETH, right? Because you're seeing it just in the space. Oh, do I want that? That's fine, right? So you can see a push up to the 5 here. Sweep all this liquidity here, all the shorts, they get taken, right? So that liquidity is up there because we don't have to wonder if there's stops up here. So liquidity, if that's 1, 2, 1, maybe we do something like this, come back to the structure, and then you go big 3. In fact, let's tee that up. If we're here, if I don't have this, but if we go something like this, come back down here into some of this, there's some imbalances down here need to get filled. That's, but again, I would never tell you to sit here with a limit order. I'd watch the reaction, get the reaction, because you don't know. You're looking to take the first pullback here. Now again, right, as I've just been saying, look, if you're waiting here for a 50% retracement, well, you finally got it. This a little shaky, this skinny, right? I mean, it's not going to be 50, 50, 50, right? Oh, it's got to do. You've got to be just prepared, because when you're looking right there, I mean, that's your decision point right there. Am I taking it or not? Because that's right. That's all any asset can ever do. It's either going to go this way and break that pivot. It's going to go this way and break that pivot, right? Which one would you be inclined to think, right? I mean, given the context here, right? I would suggest the edge is to the bull here, right? I got a impulse retrace, right? I got a 5, I got a 3, I got a 5, I got a 3, right? I mean, you trade them until they fail, right? And why would you think anything else? I don't mean to be arrogant when I say that. I mean, I'm generally asking, for to think about that. Why would you think something else? Oh, I read something on Twitter, or Trump tweeted something. Fuck. How do they usually move? And then the risk reward here is so much lower. All right, okay, so let's get that out of there. As we sit here on ETH, we're just kind of pausing here. So again, very consistent with a 4. Okay, let's see what we do here. This is not a great place to be buying right here. You're right next to the high. I mean, if you maybe something very short term, okay, go for it. But I would be very cautious about thinking that we're going to do something like this, that we're just going to go boom, 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 boom. Of course, anything's possible, but I think if you're piggish about that, you might get burned. Just a suggestion there. Okay, so let me get over to the other 3 here that I have. Oh, pardon me. I want to do. Hang on a second. I want to do Ripple first. XRP. Now, this is very interesting here. We have an ABC we've gone into, or we have a slight truncation. I'm inclined to think that we have a slight truncation here, that this is complete. Because if I open this up, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I do get a little choppy diag here. I just don't get a new high, and that's the last little kicker. It's all wick. And given the depth of that retracement, I think that's not an unreasonable thought that we've gone 1, we're working on 2. So let's go down to a 60 here. You can see how close that is. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like you might be able to. It's not a force fit, right? Well, it's almost, it's tight, right? I mean, you could look at it a couple of different ways. Let's go to a 15. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's iffy, right? I'd be quick to agree that it's not perfect. Here's the 50. So if indeed we've done a truncation here, what would you be thinking? 1, 2, A, B, C. Oh shit! I hate to get down to a 15. It just gets too squirrely. But from the high, it's a tough call, right? Are we doing this, or have we already done it? All right, is it done? There's very little to lean on here. So if you go 1, 2, you got to do a 2 here. 3, 4, 5. Right? If that's the 2, where's your next 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's doable. Let me get this off here. If I get a 5 here, there's a lot buzzing around XRP really starting to be something that's going to be very critical to the evolution of the digital space here. Right? So if we're going to go 1, 2 and hold that, could you buy that? Absolutely, you could, right? Because your risk is so low. You're buying it right here, right? Where's your stop? Well, you're going to, the premise is, right, whenever you're doing this, is that while we recognize there's going to be liquidity here, just like there's liquidity here, right, that's going to be there. But the assumption is, right, that the 2 is in and we're not coming back. So the risk is so low here, I think that's a reasonable spot, right, to consider. It's not the prettiest setup, but it's at least low risk here. You don't have to put the kids' tuition money into that, right? Just, okay, can I get a challenge at that high? Are we going to do it all at once? Let's measure again, right? It just takes seconds. Why would you not do it? Where do they usually go? Could I get that? $352. It's not unreasonable. Any channeling we can take advantage of here? Well, not really. That's all you got so far. It's just out of habit, right? Keep it in the same color. Okay, well, or if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I'll live, right? That's a jab. That's not an uppercut to the jaw. I'll survive that. You will too. A, B, C, maybe, right? Could be there's another leg down, and then you're going to reevaluate this, and you're going to end up doing this, right? Likely, if we sweep that low, you're going to be back here doing this, thinking, oh well, I guess it wasn't done. We're coming down for the 5 here, and then you're down here looking for something. As that finishes, if indeed, oh come here, if that finishes, we're going to come down here and then look for that. That's the one you're after, right? So if you take a jab here, fine, right? Again, you're not going to get knocked out of the game there. Don't ever do this. That kills more traders, right? Because they're too much a pussy to take a stop. Right? It's very, very, very common, right? Kills so many traders, right? Because they just can't handle being wrong. Wrong business. If that's you, right? I'm warning you right now, you're not going to have a good time. Okay. Oh God, these allergies killing me. Okay, let me keep going here. So I've got the big 3, right? So if they come back here, what are the big 3? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple. I'm just going right down the list. Let's go to Solana, which I think is right next here to SUI. Oh, here it is. All right, how are we looking here? Well, we certainly want to pay attention to this one. We'll see if this can hold here. Let's get this back to that. Oops. 2 hour here. Jeez, I can't seem to get this. There we go. Okay. 1, 2. Right. So I have a corner pocket. So right, as I know members would be shocked if I didn't mention this, I've got 80% probability I get there, but I'm not there yet. Failure to get there equals a move, right? Trading principle number 4, failure to make the median line sets up a move equal to or greater than the move that failed to get there. That would be quite a failure in Solana if we were to just roll over here. I mean, that would be sort of a dramatic reversal. Which means, it's in my mind, I've got edge here. Because just even if it's 55-45, right? It strikes me that I've got edge here. That's got to push up. Here, get these all out of here. If it's 1, 2, 3, now I'm going to be really, really watching that 1. If it's a skinny 2. Oh, is that the 3? Well, it kind of looks like it. Or again, when in doubt, measure. Right? Are we doing it here? Where do they usually go? Just can't make this shit up. 1, 2. Where's the most common location for a wave 3? Where's it go? So, the reason I do that and the reason I point that out all the time is so you don't go, oh, fuck, I don't know, where's the target? Wouldn't where they usually go be a reasonable target? Seems like it would. 1, 2, 1, 2. Somewhat shallow. Again, it looks like a 38. The 38 is pretty common for a wave 2. I mean, it's not what you're looking for, but you're not going to get a 50 or a golden zone. You're not going to get that every time, right? The market doesn't work that way. So 1, 2, do I have it? Well, it's a little skinny in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tricky. Let's go to 30. Is that 3, 4, 5? Oh, that's. You might have to do an ABC here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's thin up there, right? We don't want to see this. For a Solana bull, we want to see this hold. We absolutely want to be watching 167. You do not want to see that get overlapped, because we want this to be an impulse, right? I'm again assuming you're a bull. We want an impulse here. We don't want this to turn into a diag or whatever the fuck we're going to have to call this if we roll over here. But that would be certainly bad news. So thus, all the more, since it's so close, I take you back to the same idea. Right? If you're buying it here, you can target that. You can do that. Because if we wick this, now you can give it a little, just in case we do something, like this, where we come right to the edge of it. I give it a few ticks, a few bucks. Let's, I can't go any lower, or any tighter. 1, 2 in here, like that, to get the median line. 6 to 1. It's a little abby. It's not. That's not an ideal 3. Is there any other way we can do it? Oh, there may be. Hang on a second. I think the 2 here seems like we're stuck with that. I think we are. You may have a slight truncation here. It looks like you go 1, 2. I think when I first was setting this up, I had this as the one. It gets a little iffy here because that looks like a 3 unless you're going to truncate here. So if that's the one and we're going to go A, B, C as a flat, okay. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little jagged. You're not getting the clarity that you'd hope for there. But again, I take you back to where do they usually go? Let's do it again, right? If this is, if we're going to pull it from here, and that's the 1, and that's the 2. I think I'm pulling from a slightly different spot. But again, we're right to that area where you would anticipate that. We just don't have great separation here. We don't have, we're essentially we've got this, right? Now you're going to dig it and do it this way, like that. It's a judgment call you have to make. Could that do it? It's not the wackiest thing I've ever seen. But that might, because of that might reduce the size that I was putting on here. At least that's how I think of it. If I'm a little unsure, I'm gonna pull back the size a bit. I'm not gonna go heavy-handed here. I suppose the alternate that you're considering in the back of your mind is that we're gonna do this is gonna complete, and we're gonna get a deeper retracement here. Even if I go, I don't know if I can get this here. I'm doing this on the fly. If I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and have a 1 here. Let's change that color. Let's go to green, and let's take that down a degree here. Well, the idea here is to learn something, right? So if I come with all of it already done, do you learn as much? I mean, this is the process you're going to go through, which is the same thing I do on live streams. I don't do them in advance because then you don't get the benefit of the thought process. Now let's see. Now can I squeak out of here? If that's 1 and that's 2, yeah, I'm just barely long enough for that 3, 4, 5, right? So let's put that together. So this would go up a degree. Let's go to sub, and then let's go here and go to micro 1. Is that the 2? Well, remains to be seen. Oh, fuck me. Come here. Too quick with the mouse. Oh, what have we not used? Let's go to white. Okay, so we got a candidate for a 1. 1, 2, 1, given the depth of the retracement, right? So if we're going to come down here, I'm watching, right? Clearly we had this resistance here. What does this do here? Weekend, this could be A, B. We're going to come a little bit lower. Then I'd be thinking, oh, I've got an opportunity to get into the 3. If we're going to come down into this zone here, wick this 1. Confuse some people. Okay, we're coming down here. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's of course more bullish, right? 3. All of this flies up here. This flies up here. This flies up here. All of this. Again, that's what you hope you're having to do. 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? Just so you have the alternate prepared. So if it happens, you're like, holy shit, what do I do now? Well, you know what to do. Same thing I would always suggest. If we come down to something like this, you're like, well, that must be complete. Well, I'm not saying buy it with a limit order. I'm saying show me a reaction. I'll take the retrace because I'm anticipating it's not optional. I have to get an impulse. Or the count is wrong, or the market's not cooperating, whatever, right? I mean, if you're trading this technically, that has to happen. It's not optional. So that's why when I'm right here, I can have a lot of conviction in that trade. Because if I'm wrong, okay, small loser. If I'm right, I'm in the 3, that's your money ball anyway. Low risk, high reward. If I'm wrong, okay, I'll live. I live to trade another day. Get these out of here. Even here, let's see if I can do it. I would do it again. 1, 2, right? Can I get that 3? We complicate this shit so much for ourselves, right? It can be that drop dead simple. What's the context? What are you looking for? Do I see it? Or do I have an entry? Now, as I've just been saying, sometimes crypto, it just won't give it to you, right? You're just going to go, oh shit, where's the 2? Where's the 2? Where's the 2? Get used to it, right? Sometimes you're just going to miss trades. SUI, right? Again, just working down the list. Where's SUI? Right here, right? All in the billion plus. SUI, right? Does it look any better? Doesn't look bad. 1, right? 1, 2, 3. Does the market move in 5s and 3s? There's your 5. Now this is complex, right? But we get a WXY. There's your 3. Oh God, am I going to get another 5? Oh, 1, 2. Oh, well, there's the non-optional impulse into a 3. Why would you anticipate anything else? Just, again, not an arrogant, condescending statement. I'm genuinely asking you to think about that. Why would you think anything else? Why? You'd need a pretty good reason, right? I mean, you could buy it right there, right now. Again, it's the same thing, right? I love it when I can give you trades that are setting up. Right. I mean, you want to go for the median line? Where's your exit here? Oh, I might do something like that. 6 to 1. Lever? Sure. You want to be even tighter? But you can't cry if you get stopped out, right? If we do this and it's like, oh, it looked like it was going, and we do this, get over it. It's man up, right? Or I shouldn't say that. We got some female traders as well, but you gotta pull your big boys, big whatever. I can't find an analogy for this multi-gender. Your big boy pants and your big girl pants, got to pull them up, all right, and say, I'll take the next one. Pussies don't make money in the market. You can't be afraid of it. You can't be too much a pussy to take a stop. You won't make money. I'm sorry. Now, that doesn't mean come in here and be reckless. Be thoughtful. Where are you wrong? Where are you wrong? If you can't identify where you're wrong, don't take the trade. Same thing for where can you identify where you're right, not just because you've made a little money. Is the market, I mean, if we come out of here, again, we're looking for 5, not 3, we're looking for 5. If it's not doing it, are you stubbornly staying with the trade just because, I can't take a stop? That's got to happen. Now, in a 5, right, we could have a diag. We could have something chopping like that. Is the trend, is fighting to continue. That's what creates the diag, right? The question mark, right? Are we trending, right? Oh shit, is the trend weakening? Oh, if we got to sell it, no, we got to buy it. No, we got to sell it. So it creates the diag. That's why you see them, at the beginning and the ends of moves. But this looks like drop. Like seriously, what? We know we got a corner here. We got an 80% probability to get there. Why would you not be long? I'm not saying go, again, put the kids' tuition money into SUI. I'm just saying, why would you not be long? I mean, this is almost embarrassing. Like, why would you not be long? Now, again, I'm not saying that that's going there and you couldn't get stopped out. I'm never saying that. But it's sitting there with that setup. You're not long? You're on the wrong live stream then. I'm so used to live stream. You're watching the wrong video. If you're not taking that, this is not the right spot for you. Right? That's you can't. How do you not take that? But put a stop on it. Shit, you could lever that. All right, let's see. Where's back to my list? Oh, I had a few other in here. How am I doing on time? Oh shit, 35. Give me a sec here. I'll find something else. I found it. I thought I had it up there. Okay, so again, we're looking for $1 billion plus. Cardano. It's it seems like it's finally catching up. We've got to buy here, right? So I stay away from meme coins. That's just me personally. Right? I'm not saying you shouldn't. I want picks and shovels of the digital revolution. So I'm going to go to ADA here. Let's go here. Now I am over on Phoenix, right? I got a nice clean chart here. Looks like I've got a 1 that's gone in. Let's go out to a 4. There's a candidate for a 2. Oh, let's go all the way out. Let's go to the 8 so you can see it, right? This is pre-election. We get the crypto-friendly administration. This guy, right, spends, I don't know, what is it, 250 million he spent. And so far, okay, he's been rewarded. And then, oh, okay, well, it didn't come all the way back. But now are we going to start to go here? Because where's the target up here? If that's the 1, that's the 2. That's the $6, 660. That's your target. Again, what? Okay, let's put it together. This is not as great a fit for median lines here. You might get here too soon, but I would keep both. That's what I do. I just go, okay, what's fitting better? 1, 2. Okay, let's see. Right now, so because again, do I have 80% odds here? Yes, I have 80% probability I get there. Is that not good enough for you? Serious question. Now, see, I would just hide it. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I want to hide it. Right, but don't forget you got it over there, right? You go be sure to check. You're like, oh, there it is, right? All right, so right now I've just got the 1 and the 2, right? They're candidates, right? We don't know we're getting a 1, 2, 3 until we get it. But right now it's just like before, right? This is not optional. This must come if this TA is to be realized. This is not an optional leg in that equation. It must come. So we're waiting now for the 2. Now, nobody says that couldn't be the 2, right? But do we have let's go down to a 2 hour. Do you have that nice ABC or clear 3 that's come into it? Well, it was right out of the chute here. It was a little bit, okay, is that 1, 2, 1, 2? Sure looks like 3. We stop progressing the trend. That looks like 4. And then look, we finish it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does the market move in 5s and 3s? Does it? Does it? We begin and end in 5s. Well, something ended there. Well, we finished an impulse. Now we're coming down. Again, I just feel like I have to justify Elliott when it's right in your face, right? All it takes is for it to fall apart, for a count to fall apart 1 or 2 times. People are like, oh, that Elliott wave is bullshit. There's nothing that's right 100% of the time, right? You got to accept that. There is no such thing. This is the best thing I've ever seen. I've worked with it for almost 30 years. If I thought there was something better, that's what I'd be teaching you. People say, oh, but what about market structure? That's certainly its value, but as I say all the time, whenever it comes up, Elliott Wave is the OG of market structure. Right? Lower low, lower high, change of character, break of structure. It's just, you're just putting numbers on it instead of labels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That sure looks like I've got a candidate here for an A. Does it not? Well, again, just basic Elliott. Like you could bring in a 5th grader here. Oh, 5, 3, 5. Am I going to get 5, 3, 5 to the 50 golden zone? Wouldn't that be nice, right? Well, I don't know that we're going to get that. Well, why? Why would we get that, right? Oh, the alt season's here. Why would we get that? I don't know. I can't answer that. I just to tell you, what do they usually do? If I've got a completed 1 here and I'm working on a 5 down, I'm not going to anticipate that that's it, right? That's it for the correction. Unless this starts to turn into something where, oh, maybe I can, put some sort of a sharp WXY into it. It doesn't look like it just yet. What about a 3? Let's go to a 30. Is there any way to reinterpret this that Might be bullish. Well, okay, right again. When in doubt, let's measure. Like, how did that 3 land? Where's the highest probability location for a wave 3? Where does it go? You see, now when I'm doing this, I didn't know that was there, but I just eyeballed it and said, "Oh, that's probably right." I'm not trying. I don't want you to get the impression that this is easy, because I'm kind of making it look like, oh, duh. Oh, how fucking hard can this be? It's not what I'm saying. But you got to use the tools here. Say, okay, well, all we're trying to do is find a location where I can get the slightest edge. I mean, the slightest edge. You want more than a slight edge? Put a set of median lines on. That's 80% odds. Is that not enough of an edge for you? Serious questions. I don't mean to be dickish about it. I'm just asking you. Think. Where do they usually go? Oh, shit. Well, why would you not put the 3 there? Well, maybe you're thinking WX. Well, that's kind of shallow for an X. It's perfect for a 4. We get one more leg down here to complete the 5. Well, you don't know. There's no knowing. But right now, path of least resistance sure does look like lower to complete the 5. Where's the liquidity? Right here. Looks like it went up here, right? They've got an inverse fair value gap here. Tapped a little liquidity there. Now it's not there yet. So you can't assume, oh, it's going to truncate. You can't assume that. And if you were just determined to be constantly a buyer because you think alt season we're about to explode, well, okay, you could take the 3 into the B, right? But I would be careful about anticipating, oh, we're going to go impulsive here. So, could we? Of course. I'm not saying that, but what do they usually do? Here's your, where did I pull that from? I think I pulled it from this low. Yeah, I did. From this low here for the volume profile. We're just right in the pocket, right? Point of control, right? So that's, everybody agrees that that's fair value for this right now, at least down here on a 2 hour. A B. Shit. I mean, if we get this, yeah, I'm interested down here. But again, same thing. I'm not going to sit here with a limit order. I'm going to sit here and wait for that reaction. I'm going to do that one. Because then here's what I know, right? This is not optional. I got to get an impulse here, right? That's where I like to trade, where I can look at something and say, well, if that's correct, this must follow, or that's not correct, right? That's the beauty of Elliott Wave. It's a if this then that, and if not that, then this. Nothing else has that. There's nothing like it, right? Is it perfect? No, but it's as perfect as you'll find. Okay, let's see. What's my last? Hang on a second. Back to my list here. This is quietly creeping up into becoming a major player, and that is Hyper. Now, you look down here and you go, oh, hey, it's way down the list. But remember, you got to pull out the stable coins, and as far as I'm concerned, I pull the meme coins out. So you're if you're not in top 10, you're top 12. Oh, for Hyper down here. Oh, maybe top 15, right? But it's enough to pay attention. So let's go over and look at it. This is the daily. I was struggling with this count trying to prep for this because you've got a kind of an odd, again, no, very shallow 2. 1, 2, I can get the 3 here, 4. It looks like I complete here, but then I'm going to go ABC, so I'm going to get a shallow 2. This is what I'm seeing here. So I'm going to pull from the completed 5, A, expand the B, straight down for the C, 38 for a 2. It's not that crazy at all. 1, 2. Let's get these up here. Oh, what do I got here? Let's go minuet, and let's put that in white. Okay, so we've got a candidate, right? Now, I'm not positive about this count, but that's the best thing I could come up with. 1 ABC, 38 for the 2. I can live with that. Again, it's a crypto bull. That's not uncommon. Now, this is a bit of a clusterfuck. This is tough to count. Oh, here, let me get the off of there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it a double up here? Now look what happens, right, as we come back to it right here, right? So clearly that was important level to the market. This is a bit of a guesstimate. How do you have a lot of conviction in that? It's the only place where we stop and pause, right? Where we just go, okay, wait a second. Are we going ABC or are we going up to finish the 5? The 2 to the 4, right? It's not definitely a long way from perfect. But since we've come down here and we've actually that's actually, if you look at it, it's Oh, I'm on the aggregator here. On some exchanges, you're a ticker 2. It's broken. So I'm looking for this as a 2. Right now, of course, I could be wrong. I hate the imbalance between the two, but I don't like it as much for it to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it could be, right? You can look at this and say, okay, that's still got to come up here. This is the 5. This is the 3, and we're gonna have this giant 4. I'll push that off here. Oh, come here. This would have to go sub-menu out. Let's go to rows here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, to be the backup. One of the things that I always try and stress is the channeling. You see, we've broken so far from that. I don't like the idea of doing this, of doing 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go way over here for the 4, and then I'm going to go. Now, could it happen? Of course, right? We could have it could be a diag. This could go lower. So all that's possible, but I would go there as the alternate, not as the primary, because of that break. Now, if we had done it this way, a different story. If we'd gone 1, 2, 3 and held here and then gone, right? Then a little break of the channel, you put a sliding parallel. Okay, much better fit. As it is now, so this one, while I'm long in here, I'm kind of watching this one, right? I like it. I know they're going to be a player. I'm out of log scale as well. I'll go here. Maybe that looks a little bit easier to you, but see, this completes, right? We get something, and then we get this very shallow here. Now, when I take it out of log scale, I get a more reasonable retrace. That's the first question is, do I need to be in log scale? It's right on the edge, 4 times the range. Thus, you got to look at it. My suggestion would be to look at it in both. 1, 2, 3, this is so tiny, much bigger, but I do get the 5 that looks like it completes that 1. A, B, C into the 2. So we definitely one to keep your eyes on. Again, if for no other reason, then look at the volume, right? And that's going to be a major player. Okay, let me pause there. Oh God, I'm running long. Hang on a sec. I'm going to finish up on the NQ, which just seems to it's not going to go down until something changes. So we're getting a little push here in Bitcoin, right? So 1, 2, if this starts to kick. Now look, you got all the imbalances here. This is a fair value gap. It's tapping right now. Just keep an eye on that. What you would be an ideal scenario to get this to kick into a 5, right? If we get that'll be the 1 of the 5, not the 5. Okay, let's go over to the NQ, because this is the market that just. We talked about it for so long, right? The AI revolution. This is it. We're going through earnings seasons now as well, as you all know. This is just, you cannot short this thing. It's just a suicide mission. It's just you can't short this. You're going to have to wait for this, right? We're going to have some break and then something that fails. You're trying to pick the turn here, you're going to lose. You're just going to lose so much money. Again, I only say that because I've been through these kind of just relentless up. There's nothing on the horizon that you can forecast that would suggest that this is going to stop. Now, if you take it out to a daily, right? Of course, we've had the break of structure here. So you'd look at that and say, well, oh, wait, I thought we can anticipate a retrace. Well, yes, you can, but there's no telling how far that goes. Because if you look at, let's go to a 4 hour. If you look at this thing in completion, right? The first, you have did we go 1, 2, 1, 2? Or do we truncate down here? Well, as I've said before, we're looking at the S&P because it has the same little issue down here. If I need another 1, 2 in here, that's a high class problem. I would keep it this way. I'm unsure down here, but I know that this one wave here, this impulsive move here, followed by that clear zigzag for the 3 that follows it. If I'm not mistaken, that's the only golden we got on the way up. No, pardon me. It's from this one, right? If this is the 1, 2, right? Literally right into the lips of the golden zone. Shit I can't make up, right? Because I don't need to, right? Because that's what the algo does. So here's getting target, just goes straight to it. Now, well, let me pull that back, right? So if this is the 2, right, where are we targeting the 3, right? That's going to be really close to the 1618. So if we pull it, measure, right? We do this. Where's the highest probability location for wave 3? How many times have I said that today? would that not influence your decision about where to park that 3? Because you get this grind, right? Where's your 2? Do a bit of a guesstimate there, right? So when you don't have the clarity here within this 3, well, what would the next thing you'd try? Well, let's measure. Where do they usually go? So something I've said a lot today. Okay, so let's get this one out of there. So 1, 2, 3, with a little pause here again based on that structure and that location. We come back down. There's the God MA. Right to the POC with what's currently now. Oh, pardon me. That's the POC from this low. Right, so we get right back to it. Now grind. Right, there's no telling. There's no forecasting what's going to cause the correction, but we can certainly look at that and say, well, wouldn't it be if we were to go this high, right, to get something that suggests we're going to get some sort of a correction, maybe back to the point of control where we have all this high volume here where we stalled, and then we go something along those lines. You may not get a 50. You may get a 50. Who knows, right? There's no knowing, but there's likely at some point, just the context alone. Oh, let's go to a 3-day, which suggests we're going to go vertical here. I don't think there would be any confusion or disagreement that we have something impulsive here. Then we get the correction. Now, how far are we going to go, right? So if you just wanted to simplify it and think, okay, well, there's your 1, there's your 2. Oh, here, let's just put the whole thing together. There's your 1, there's your 2. Right, we didn't quite make it into the golden. Get you right on it. Oh, pardon me. Looks like we did. Thought we did. Tags the 618. Shocker. I know. Okay, right. So if this is 1, this is what makes you in the back of your mind. You got to keep. All right. This is 1, and this is 2. All right. If this is 1, we're just going to keep going. There's no retrace in sight. We're just going to go. All right. We're going to go straight line here. Anything's possible. It seems less probable than something completes here. Maybe we get the algo target. Again, the algos are long. Maybe we get there. So wouldn't you think if that's the 1, wouldn't it be reasonable to think that I get some sort of a 2 here to correct the impulse that completes? Again, not because I know, because that's what they usually do. And then I'm going to get the 3. And at some point, it becomes, are we going that high? It just gets to be a little bit ridiculous, right? So it becomes hard to swallow. You literally, we're going to 35,000 in the NQ. I mean, it's technically, right? That's what it's implied. But at some point, you got to go, okay, I love the bull porn, but let's be reasonable about, again, pigs get slaughtered, right? So if we complete a 5 up here, I would get some hedges on. I mean, I'm hedged now, right? I've got a lot of exposure to traditional assets, but I keep a hedge on at all times, particularly because we just had that break of structure. So I'm willing to lose money on those hedges, right? If we keep going up, but if we come down, I'm going to lose a lot less. Just a suggestion for you. Okay, with that, oh my God, 53 minutes. I went too long. Okay, guys, had a few little issues this week with the live streams. I think we've got that sorted out. So my apologies to that. Live streams will be back on next Wednesday. And with that, I wish you guys a great weekend. Stay cool. It's going to be fucking hot out there. It sure as hell is hot here in Austin. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us. All of our links below if you want to join us, want to dig into some of this, get into our Discord. All that stuff is directly below in the description of this video. You know where to find us, tradedevils.com. Okay, guys, have a good one.